And welcome to week number 1 of the MEA GT Championship Series, Season 3 here at Silverstone. I'm SSR Mayhem, bringing you today's live action, as are we not all excited for this? We've been waiting for this all season long. We know the drivers have been. I know I have been. It's MEA's biggest stage, and defending champion Hydra looking to basically try to go 2 years back-to-back. But he's got some stiff competition. I would say a little bit more competitive than last year in the field. We got about 60 drivers racing today. We got 3 lobbies rolling right now, and we'll be rolling here very soon. But looking forward to this one, and I can't wait to see how things turn out here at week number 1. So just stay tuned as we get the lobby set up and ready to go, and we'll be starting momentarily. Missing Hydra, looks like, so far. They're trying to get all the drivers in, so just bear with us here momentarily. So let's get these lineups set up. So we'll get started here soon. I actually have to get the lobby set for these guys. We've been pretty much on point mostly, but looks like we were just waiting for a couple of the drivers. Had some power issues, so we're going to get them in here and get started momentarily, and we'll go through the field as soon as I can get a chance. Alright, so we're just waiting for Hydra and Marky to get in here, and there's Hydra. So the starting order looks like this. Hydra and Vinny will start 1 and 2 with Boberts and Mute right behind them. LMP Yem, SSR Uranium, FLA The Stig, RDE Jansen, Delete, LMP Amoeba, AMH Beast Shadow, PTG Darius, MX Tavo, SSR Pikachu, SMXJ Yankee, Diamond Man 2014, SSR Yami, FLA Red Oxen, and FLA Jams. And Marky actually will start in that 10th spot, so as soon as he gets in here, we should be good to go. So. So today's race is 22 laps. The one thing we did do this season, ladies and gentlemen, is we brought back Season 1 mentality, where there's going to be some races this season that don't have a mandatory pit stop, and then other races where they do. We're going to have 2 reverse grid races sometime this season, a night race, a weathered race, and it's just going to be it's going to be a fun season. I think we're going to see a lot of new faces battling for the championship this year. And things will be good to go. So right now, we got everybody in the lobby, it looks like, for the most part. We are waiting on to see if there's anybody missing. I know Bobbers is waiting to make sure before we get going. So it looks like everything's good to go, and we are about to begin Season 3 here in the MEA GT Championship Series. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is not a pace lap. It is stand and go starts. So soon as these drivers load into the racetrack, they will be green. There's no restarts once one lap is completed. That only happens if somebody lags out of the race on lap 1. So once the start of the race is pretty much gotten through that point, there's no turning back. The drivers still get points if they lag out, but unfortunate if they do. So hopefully everyone can make it through the entire race today, and hopefully the Xbox servers and the Forza servers work together into making a great race. So here we go. We're about to begin, and these guys have been practicing all week long. The qualifying is over. 64 drivers, 3 lobbies, and 1 race winner here today. And green flag, here we go, as Jim Hydra will lead the field in lap number 1. And there we go, side by side already between Vinny and Hydra, the top 2 qualifiers. You see Mute right there in the 3rd spot, going right past Bobbert, who started 3rd. He's running in the 4th spot right now. And here we go, still side by side, Hydra and Vinny. And there's Mute right there in the mix as well, on the rear bumper of these 2 great drivers in front of him. And there's so much talent this season. It's going to be a real fun to watch right now, as you see the power and acceleration of the Jags have taken off. Meanwhile, the next car in line is the Nismo. Vinny takes the lead here, coming off of the stretch. Now, here's the neat thing, ladies and gentlemen. There's no pit stops mandatory this week, which means the drivers can try to go to distance if they can, or they can make a pit stop during the race. So we're going to have to see what happens here as the race progresses. And we got 20 drivers in the field right now, so that means only 2 of them have missed the race today. One of them being Coca Gamer, Indy 500 MEA champion earlier this season. Fortunately, couldn't make it with us. And we pull up the race map. It looks like nobody's really fallen off track yet. Everyone's doing a pretty good job sticking together, staying tight. Vinny taking off early in this one. We've got Bobberts there now in the mix as well. Now here's where the power of the Jag, the acceleration, will take in effect coming off of the corners. You're going to see that with the Lambos as well, and maybe some RSRs out there if they're out there. Right now, Vinny is breaking away from Hydra and Mute. Mute trying to stick on the back bumper of Hydra right now as he entered the final chicane, and actually the only chicane of the racetrack. So From here on out, there is no restarts, and lap number 1 is in the books, and Vinny is leading the charge. So let's go take a look at the back of the field. FLA DeStig currently in that 5th spot right there. Let's ride with him, currently in the Lambo. He's right behind SSR Bobberts running in that 4th spot. He's driving in the Nismo. And right there you see a bunch of cars. Let's get along with these guys. We'll ride along with LMPM, who last year was riding with us, and he had a lot of struggles last season. A lot of disconnects that he couldn't control, and hopefully he can stay in sync with the rest of the group here today, as he's currently in battles with Elite and RDE Gansen. Back you see Uranium and Tavelbang side by side. Yem showing the grip of the Nissan. Jansen trying to stick tight. Yem and Elite battling for that 6th spot right now. Shadow as well, he's showing up in the mix right there. He's right behind Jansen in the Lamborghini. The thing about it is, a lot of people said the Lamborghinis will not be able to make it to distance today. They don't think that the tire wear will be able to hold up late in the race. They think they'll be close, running to 100% tire wear. So we'll have to keep an eye on the Lambos throughout this race. The only R8 in the field is being driven by SSR Yami. He's currently back there, a ways back. And he's back there in that 18th spot right now in front of Amoeba. So we'll have to see how the R8 does. Nobody knows really what that car can do, being that he's the only one in the field out of all the lobbies. The battle for position right now still going on between these 3 drivers right now, as Yem's trying to find something around the lead. Jansen being super patient behind him. He knows he has acceleration, but Yem making it work in the Nismo. It is the heavily favored car this week. A lot of people think the Jag will be running it super close. They know that the Nismo should be able to make it the distance. So there's so many factors that are cutting into this one. And if you're just tuning in, this is week 1 of the MEA GT Championship Series, Season 3. I do have my chat box up down below. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. Let us know. Give us your thoughts on during the race, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that we can answer. There it goes. Yem to the outside of the lead, cuts the undercut right there. Can he hold on to it though? He gets in front of the lead, but not able to make it stick, to cut him right back in front of him, side by side into the corner. Yem trying to close the door, and he does it. But this is where the Jag's going to be a little bit better, coming off the corner, got that acceleration going. You see the lead looking to the insider there, side by side going into the turn. Yem holding the outside line. Yem gets off the track just a little bit there. He was able to hold on to it. Holds on to the inside, side by side, going into the corner. He's able to make it stick, but here comes, oh, but they connect. They get tangled up just a little bit there. Delete goes off the track. Yem waiting up for him to get on by, but now they got some company. And Beast Shadow, or not Beast Shadow, but Jansen was able to capitalize on that, and Yem's falling all the way back to 12. PTG Darius right there. He's currently running in the 15th spot right now by himself. He's currently behind the mess of Diamond Man and the rest of the field right there. You see that big pack of cars in front of him. He's just now getting into the mix. And you see right there, Pikachu and Diamond Man battling out right in front of Darius. We'll get an onboard view of what Darius sees right now. As Jams looks to the inside, he clips the side panel up. Darius, that spins him out, loses multiple positions. And wow, that sends him all the way back. Meanwhile, SSR Uranium has lost a ton of positions. Not sure what's happened to him. Let's take a look at his car and see if anything's wrong with it. It looks like he's made a pit stop, so he's going to stay out there by himself for a while. But let's go back up to the race leader here. RBM Vinny still leading as he is taken off from the rest of the guys behind him. And right behind him will be Jim Hydra, last year's champion. Full sitter, got them extra bonus points. You see right behind them, Not Mute and Bobberts are battling it out right now for that third spot. Let's go take a look on how that's panning out. We'll ride with Bobberts. Recently won the 2020 Season 2 MEA NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Looking to go for his first title in GT. Close so many times in the past, but this competition gets stiffer every year, and when you're one of those guys that come back, you see the new competition come in, you know that you got to work a little harder, and you got to bring your A game every week. And Mute is able to come into the series for the second time. He actually raced back when he was a driver under the Vortex name, and right now trying to get back into the swing of things. So taking a look at him right now, making it happen as he's defending off against SSR Bobberts for that third spot. And there's Bobberts on the rear bumper of Mute. Mute just able to hold him off right there, get the acceleration of the Jag moving. Meanwhile, you see the Lamborghini in the background. That's FLA to Stig, currently in that 5th spot. Pull up the race map real quick here, get an idea of where everyone's on the racetrack. The dot way behind the field was SSR Uranium. He pitted not too long ago. I'm pretty sure he pitted just to try to make sure that he makes it the distance. A little strategy by Uranium right now to see if he can make something happen in the wide open. And that's the question. I mean, how much battling are we going to see today from some of these drivers? And the tire wear seems to be what's going to matter most. It's not the fuel mileage, it's the tire wear. Can the tires last the entire race, or will they get beat up too much that, well, they're going to have to either make a pit stop or take a risk at the end of this one? And right now, you see Jansen right there. He's got up the field a little bit. He capitalized when Yem and Delete were battling and made a mistake, and now he's looking to battle for that 5th place spot with FLA to Stig. And looks like we have a lag out. Not sure who that was. As the field comes through, we're going to find out here momentarily who that may have been, and a lag. Oh, it's definitely a lag out. It was PTG Darius. And we know that PTG Darius in the past has had issues staying connected to the races, and unfortunately he had issues earlier in the week during qualifying, and unfortunately he is now out of this one. And he was one of the quick drivers in the field, I believe he was top 15 fastest driver, but unfortunately he will have to wait till next week to try to put on another show as his race is over. Meanwhile, we still got the battle here for the 5th spot between FLA to Stig and RDE Jansen. And then Bobberts, not Mute, still out there. And there's Bobberts doing some work on Mute right now, and meanwhile that's going on to Stig, and Jansen still battling behind them. So depending on how much they're going to battle here might determine how fast they might be able to catch up if Bobberts and Mute keep racing as hard as they do, because right now you know that they're battling for race position. I know back in the touring car in the Proto Orca series we had a few months ago, it was so important for some of the drivers in the touring car series to not battle as much, because there was a lot of strategy in there. They had about an hour and a half to race, which they had no mandatory pit stops, so a lot of strategy took place during that event for many of the other drivers out there. And we have another lag out, and that's SSR Uranium. So Uranium's out of the race now. It's unfortunate, and 2 drivers already out of this one, and we're not even a quarter way in just yet, and hopefully we won't see too much more of that. And still working on the Stig. We'll be checking through the field here momentarily to see how everyone else is doing on the racetrack. But right now, this seems to be the battle to keep an eye on, as it looks like the Stig got a good run through there. But Jansen got a way better run. He's to the inside, it looks like, not able to seal the deal, but almost had an opportunity to make the pass right there. Benny and Hydra, they haven't really distanced each other a whole lot just yet. You see Bobberts right there battling with Mute. They're working real hard against each other right now. Mute's just trying to hold him off. And this is what, you know, you want to see from a couple other drivers if you're in the back of the field and you know you can make it. You want those guys up front to battle hard. You want them to make their tires wear a little bit more, take different lines, try different things, you know, rub up on each other, because they're working so much more and making the car do so much that it might make a difference by the end of the race who's going to be pitting and who's not. You see Delete right there in the background. He's slowly trying to creep into the picture while Jansen's trying to get around the Stig right now. The Stig's doing a fantastic job holding off Jansen. So we're going to go take a look at the other drivers in the field right now. And let's go hop on with SSR Markey, who was actually as far back as 12th to start this race. He did start 10th. Looks like he lost some ground early on. Currently battling with LMP Yem for that 9th spot. Meanwhile, SMXJ Yankee right in front of them. It looks like Nismo right now. So a lot of drivers doing work here. Markey looks to the inside after getting passed up by Yem right there. SSR Markey, he was the 2018 Prototype Challenge champion. One of the first championships in MEA. Currently battling for that top 10th spot against Yem right now in that 9th position. So only 18 drivers on the racetrack, 2 drivers into the garage. Got some battles on the racetrack. You see Markey and Yem right there. Let's go take a look. There's a nice big pack of cars right behind them. And let's go ride with Diamond Man 2014. As it looks like the field of Lambos back here. As you see Yami in the R8. Yeah, Pikachu running the 11th spot right in front of them. She's hanging tight, leading the charge. And let's take a look at everyone else here. We got FLA Jams and LMP Amoeba, and then you got FLA Redoxon and MX Tava, who probably took a pit stop in this one. Take a look at some of the drivers right here. So you see Diamond Man, the thing that doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, is the fuel. A lot of us, most of the drivers say that it's not the fuel mileage that you gotta worry about, it's the tire wear. So keep an eye on these tires. So you look at that, the Lamborghini right there. Let's take a look at Yami. He's running in the R8, so he's about 19 in the back, 33 in the front. Let's take a look at Yami's. He's about 35, 38 in the front, about 16 in the back. So Yami's got a little bit more tire wear working right now, which means he's probably going to be pitting some point of this race. He's battling with FLA Jams right there for the 14th spot. Jams looks to the inside, nothing there coming out of the chicane. Looks like they're losing a little bit of ground on the front 3 cars. You got Amoeba right behind them as well in the mix of the Nismo. So R8, Lambo, Nismo battling. Bump Jams right there, able to hold on to the car, nothing crazy. There's Pikachu. Oh, I thought Beast was closer than that. So, never mind on that. Let's go check out that 5th place battle, though, with Jansen. And Jansen's still working on trying to get around the Stig. And it looks like the lead's starting to slowly get into the midst of this. He's tracking them down right now. Now, if you didn't see and you're just tuning in, Delete and Yem actually connected earlier in this race, which got them off the track, and they lost positions, which gave Jansen the opportunity to get on by and kind of cut up through the field a little quicker. But now, ever since he's caught up to the stick, he has not been able to get right around that Lambo yet. Straight line speed versus acceleration, and technically both these cars have great acceleration. So, oh, look at that! Tries to throw the block. Jansen is able to cut back over to the side by side down the stretch. They're getting antsy out there. They know the lead's coming. Jansen wants to go, but he can't seem to get around. And we'll check his tire wear. He's got about 35% in the front, about 30 in the back. The Stig, Jansen, battling for race position. Now Delete's showing up in the mist. And Delete, one of the main GT drivers we've seen in the last couple of years, loves racing the GT Championship Series, and we love having him here as well. And always a great driver, great competitor. He's always put on some really great shows. And right now he's putting on the show of tracking down some guys battling for a position that he wants to get in on. And very soon, this is going to turn into a 3-car battle unless Jansen or the Stig start putting on some heat. And not too far behind them, actually, is SMXJ Yankee, LMP Yem, and SSR Markey, who are actually tracking these guys down who are right in front of them. So we might actually see more than just a 3-car battle the way that things are shipping out, you know, in the front. Jay Yankee, we've seen him the last few events here at MEA. He's put on some really good performances, really good finishes as well, but we haven't seen him put anything down consistently just yet, and I think today might be the day that he shows us how good of a consistent driver he can be. So keep an eye on Jay Yankee. And they're really starting to reel in the 2 Jags in front, or I'm sorry, the 2 Jags and the Lamborghini in front of them. Let's see what else is going on around the track, and there's still quite a bit of drivers back here duking it out. The Beast Shadow, Yami, Jams, Amoeba. Yami looks to the inside of Beast, and Beast, he was trying to track down Pikachu a few laps ago, and he wasn't actually that close to these guys. It looks like these guys either caught up to him or he made a mistake. Jams looks to the inside, nips the back bumper of Yami. Yami got in connected with Beast Shadow. Beast Shadow got a little loose. They were able to hold on to it together. Bumper to bumper. It's just crazy as 4 drivers are going at it right now. You see the Nismo right there in the background. So you got some pretty powerhouse cars in the front, and you got the gripper in the back. So this is getting pretty good, but amongst these 4. Side by side, Yami and Beast Shadow bumping and banging. There's Amoeba looking to the inside right there. Amoeba trying to take over the 15th spot, not able to do it. Yami, Beast Shadow battling hard for that 13th spot. And right there joining the mix, that's FLA Red One. He's coming into the mix now. He's back there in that 17th spot. Now we got a 5-car battle for race position here. He looks like he's running in the M6, I think. Let's go take a look at Red One as he's running in the M6. Yes, he is in the M6. So that's that's a different car in the field. There's a few of them out there today amongst the 3 lobbies. He's trying to get in that mix as well and see if he can battle for position. Shadow makes a mistake. He goes really far wide. He has to come back onto the racetrack. Yami was able to distance himself just a little bit there after the mistake. And the nice thing about the M6, it does have some straight line speed on it, so it makes it rather competitive at a track like this one. A little lock on the brakes from Jams and Amoeba looked like. I believe that was actually Jams that locked up just a little bit right there. And Yami is making a scheduled stop before the race. He said that he was going to pit around lap 11, so he's trying to beat the strategy right now, which leaves these four together. Amoeba trying to do battling for that 14th spot. B-Shadow able to try to break away a little bit. Now he doesn't have to deal with Yami to battle with in that 13th spot. But look at that, the outside move by LMP Amoeba right there. He takes over the 14th spot. And Amoeba making some nice passes the last couple of laps. So Jams goes off the racetrack, clips the grass, and loses another position. Oh, and Jams is struggling to keep the car on. But he gets back on the racetrack, doesn't lose too much time, but lost plenty, where now he has to try to fight to catch back up. Meanwhile, Amoeba now trying to battle for that 13th spot with B-Shadow. He's showing the strength of the Nismo in this race, as we've seen in a couple of other occasions so far. Meanwhile, Hydra's running about 2 seconds back from Vinny. Vinny's been pretty much on point since the start of this one. And you see about 45% wear for LMP Amoeba. He's going to be running really close at the end of this one with only 10 laps to go. You know, that's the question for some of these drivers. Can they hold up on the tires? You know, we might see a couple of these drivers try to take a risk and possibly take a major risk of not only running out of tires by the end of this, but losing more positions. We've seen this at the same track a few years ago. Back in 2018 in the GT Series, SSR Bobberts was winning and leading in the Lamborghini. He ran out of tires on the very last lap of the race. Servi, who was actually the champion that year, was actually followed behind after making a pit stop, and because of the cars in front of him running out of fuel or tire wear, he was able to capitalize to get the race win. So we might see some of that here today as well, as Amoeba is working really hard on B-Shadow. And there's Amoeba looking to the outside of B-Shadow side by side, not able to keep the outside line like he wanted to. We've seen some very interesting paint schemes from Amoeba over the years. Past year, I should say. He's ran the Martin Truex number for a long time. The old Martin Truex number 8. And he's always had some really nice paint schemes. Got a really nice slick scheme here today. And that silver, I would like to say it's a silver bullet just by looking at it. But it looks like he's starting to fade off from the battle. So let's move up further here. Looks like there's a 3-car battle for the A spot as we get on with SMXJ Yankee there. And didn't we talk about how these Nismos were catching up to the guys in front? And it looks like the Elite and Jansen hasn't been able to make anything on the stick so far. And look at this, we got a battle. Side by side Amoeba. Or not Amoeba, I'm sorry, Yem. I was looking at the LMP part, I do apologize. Still side by side Jay Yankee looking to the outside there. He's got the inside line possibly going into the corner. He's throwing it in, bumping and banging side by side. Yem still able to hold the inside. Look at this, 3 wide, coming up to the final corner. He gets right in there, takes advantage of an opportunity and picks up 2 spots from the last turn. Wow, what a move by SSR Markey. And just like that, you know, that's the risk and reward you get sometimes being patient behind her. Markey saw Yem and Yankee battling side by side, was able to get underneath both of them, making it 3 wide coming out of the chicane, picks up 2 positions, and now he gets to kind of relax as Yankee's finally trying to get around Yem there. He does it. Yem gets really, woo! Ooh, he got wide off the corner. It looks like he threw his car back on the racetrack. Oh, but yeah, made a big mistake, I believe. Oh no, Yem had lagged out of the race. We talked about this before it started. He was doing so well. He's had issues over the years, and oh, that's so unfortunate. He was doing so well. That's very unfortunate, as LMP Yem has been disconnected from this race, and he ran such a great race, and I feel so bad for him. 17 drivers on the racetrack. It looks like FLA Jams had decided to pit as well mid-race. That puts him back to the 17th spot. Meanwhile, here we got a 3-car battle for the 5th place spot. Jansen's still not able to get around the Stig, and Delite's now in the mix, and he's ready to pounce for any possible opportunities that he might get. I think it's a little wide off the corner there. They're up to about 60% wear on the tires, so we're going to find out if any of these Jags can make it the distance. But let's go check on the race leader, ladies and gentlemen. That's RBM Vinny. He's about almost 60% on the wear as well. Let's go check on Hydra. He as well is running about 60%. And then let's go check on Mute. He's running about 60% as well on the front too. And let's check on Bobberts. He's running in a completely different car. He's close on 60%. He's about 5% shorter than these guys. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. Meanwhile, the next car in line is the Lamborghini, and his tires are a little bit worse, about 11% worse on the front left than Bobberts was. So we're going to find out who's going to take the risk here late in this race. There's only a handful of laps remaining, and right now, a lot of the drivers in the front are making it tough. A driver that's been very good on tire wear, that's SSR Pikachu. Let's see where she's at on wear right now. She's about 60%, so she's not doing any better. From what we were told, she was coming in very strong with the wear of the tires to be able to make it to distance, but right now she's rather close to all the other drivers on the racetrack. Jansen, he's actually a little bit better than the other Jags on the racetrack. He's not in 60% range on that front left yet. The front right still looking about 55. So Jansen's a little bit better than the other Jags we've seen out there. So could Jansen maybe make it to distance? I don't know, but this is going to be really interesting to watch because he's got a little bit better of the wear right now in the car, and he's been battling for some laps. But there goes Delete to the inside, trying to take over that 6th spot from Jansen, not able to seal the deal. Delete gets back in line and tries to do it all over again. We got 6 to go, and right now we've got plenty of battles on the racetrack. So right now, Jansen's still trying to make things happen. You see SSR Markey starting to creep up to the battle of these three. So Delete's able to catch back up to these two now. And you see Markey and you hear Yankee in the background coming. Let's pull up the race map here. This is what we're going to find out. Who might take the risk to pit? Who might take the risk to stay out? Right now, Vinny, Hydra, Newt and Bobbert are all in position to possibly make it to the end. But then you got other drivers behind right now, which is about right here. We're seeing Jansen try again to go to the inside of the Stig, just not able to do it. Now the Stig's in a weird spot, as we've been saying since the start of this race. And there goes the lead to the inside. He's able to get in there, bumps him just a little bit right there. Markey tries to do the same thing he did recently, but not able to get to the inside. And there goes the lead, getting a position from Jansen. But what we were talking about here is, can the Stig make it to the end? Because no one thinks that these Lambos are going to be able to last, and right now it's not looking promising, as he's running about 75% in the front, and the front right's about 70, so he's going to have to make a super tough call here in the upcoming laps if he's going to decide to stay out on the racetrack. He's been fighting so hard defending off Jansen that I don't think he's had really an opportunity to relax and realize where he's at on the wear, and right now he's kind of in jeopardy outside, amongst the top 10 drivers who are currently running in the top, up front, and we're gonna have to see what he does. It's gonna be a tough call for him, but the nice thing about the series is you have an opportunity to look at these cars every week to see what's gonna fit you best, what's gonna get you up there, what's gonna last you the longest. It's a bunch of different things, and right now, if you're in the Lamborghini, you gotta make a decision on what you're gonna do next. We know that some of the drivers in the back, like FLA Jams, we saw him take a pit stop, not thinking that he could possibly make it to the end. And he's currently running that 17th spot. But, these guys in the back that made the pit stop, they can capitalize on some of these guys. I mean, if they get out there and, run some consistent laps, these guys up front run out of tires or something happens, they're going to have a great opportunity to try to catch them on that final lap, because we've seen it before. We saw Yami earlier this year have an issue in the Touring Car Series where he ran out of tires on the same track and lost many positions because of it. So we're going to find out here. Does he pit this time around? If I was the Stig right now, I would highly think about making that decision before lap 20, because lap 20, I feel like if you stay out, you're committed, and that's something that is going to be really tough to call, as you see Jansen and Delete still battling back there for that 6th place spot. And Delete nips the back corner of the Stig, and look at this. Markey goes to the inside of Jansen, and look at that. It's Jay Yankee to the inside. And Jansen lost a couple positions right there. Not sure how much it affected him. Let's go check on him real quick here to see if he has any major issues with the car. Nothing yet, and he's still good on tires. It looks like he might be the best car in the field right now from what we've seen. That was guaranteed to go all the way, as he goes back under Yankee for the 8th place spot. A 5-car battle here. And actually, Delete got around the Stig for the 5th spot. So the Stig, not sure if he's starting to relax a little bit or that the tires are starting to show their colors. Markey looks to the inside of the Stig. He's able to make it stick side by side into the corner now. Not able to seal the deal, as the acceleration of the Lambo is going to give him a little bit of an advantage coming out of the corner. Jansen, though, he's got some acceleration. He gets to the outside of Markey right there, side by side for the 7th spot. And Markey, I don't think we've seen his yet. He's running about the same thing as Jansen, so there's a good chance he might be able to capitalize on some issues that might happen in the front as well. There's a lot of questions right now. Who can make it and who can't? Markey got caught up by the Stig there. Jansen's got a nice run, though, coming off the corner. He's got a big run off the corner. He might get Stig here. Yankee to the inside. He'll pick up a spot, but Markey battling right back. Markey got caught up by Jansen, it looked like, going into the corner. And you see them battling right there. Yankee and Markey making it happen. They caught up to the Jags, but haven't been able to do anything since. And it looks like, I believe, the Stig decided to pit. And he did. The Stig ended up making the decision to pit. And probably the best decision he could have made going forward. He's playing it safe. He's going to see if it pays off. As Hydra, is he gaining? He looks like he was gaining a little bit back there. And you look at Yankee, though, he's got a lot more wear on the tires than Markey did running in that same car, and he's going to be cutting it super close by the end of this race. And in the B lobby, final results have ended, and I'm not sure who got the win there. It was the Terup, MEX the Terup, who picked up the race win in the B lobby. Battling here right now in that 7th spot, Yankee and Markey. 2 laps left, 2 to go. This has been really interesting to watch, and there's been a lot of battles on the racetrack. Actually, there's one way back here as well. That's Yami and Tavo. We haven't even seen Tavo too much today. He's in the Lamborghini, and he's looking pretty solid right now on his tire wear. I don't think he's made a pit stop yet, and he's been on the track for the entire race so far. So these guys are doing some battling back here for that 15th spot. Amoeba and Diamond Man, looks like they're rather close to one another. Pikachu, she's all alone. Hop back on with Jansen right here. And just so everyone knows, post-race interviews coming up next. We'll get to talk to the top 5 after the race and get their thoughts on today's event, as 22 laps have come, 22 laps are down. Vinny has been really strong since the start of this race. And these guys are starting to really split up. The battle really right now in the top 10 is this right here, as Yankee's battling with Markey, and Yankee is getting it close. He's about 81% on the tires. I don't know if he's going to make it, but let's get up to the front of the pack here now, as we're down to, whoops, didn't mean to do that. We're down to the 5 remaining laps, and Vinny, he's about he's about 80% on both tires, a little bit more on the front left. He's going to have to make a risky decision if he can make it the whole way. Let's check on Hydra now, how close he is on tires. Hydra is so much more wear on his tires. He's got about 90% hitting on the fronts right now, and he's going to be cutting it super close by the end of this race. Let's go check on Mute. Mute's a little bit better on the tires than the man in front of him, Hydra. He might be able to make it the rest of the way. And then let's check on Bobbers real quick. He is about 80% on the tires, about a couple of percent engine damage, and he's running super close on that as well. Let's go check on Delete. Delete, he's good on tires right now. He's running about 80%. Jansen, he's running about 80% as well. So we got quite a bit of concern for some of these guys, as they're going to be cutting it super close. You see Vinny, he's running about 85% on the front left. Does he take the risk and try to go all the way? Meanwhile, Hydra, he's running super high on the tires right now. Will he risk going all the way? And then there's obviously Mute. He's close to it, but he should be okay. I think he'll be all right the rest of the way. Bobbers is going to make it interesting, though, as he's better on the tire wear right now. He could get a little bit more aggressive with these guys, being that he's in that Nismo and making things work for it. He's been with Mute for pretty much the entire race. They haven't gotten too far apart from one another. And here they go. Vinny stays out. Hydra stays out. Mute and Roberts will stay out. We'll see if anybody else decides to take a pit here. And Mute getting a little bit of a bump from Roberts around the final corner. Battling for the third spot right now. Hydra's running out of tires, and you can tell he's starting to lose ground on the man in front of him. As you see these two guys showing up in the race picture now, it's everybody's for themselves right now. All the drivers behind have basically stayed out on the track. Nobody has tried to make the pit stop to play it safe. So we're going to see what people can do here as Mute's able to get away from Bobbers just a little bit here. And he's slowly catching up to Hydra. He's got the tires, a little bit more tire. Hydra's out of tires, it looks like. And, oh, he's cutting it super close. You see, they're slowly closing in on Hydra here. Vinny, he's close as well, but he's further ahead. Are they going to make it on those tire wear? They only got a few turns to go. And you see Hydra's just struggling to keep the cars going. Roberts to the inside. He'll take over the third spot. Roberts looking to go. He's going to the inside of Hydra. He'll get to that second spot just like that. Hydra's completely out of tires. Mute side by side with Hydra now. He's going to lose the spot to Mute. The defending champion in world trouble right now. He's just got to get around a few more turns and not lose any more positions. And coming around the final two turns, RBM Vinny able to withstand the tire tread. He comes around the final corner and is week number winner here at Silverstone in the MEA GT Championship Series. Congratulations to Vinny on week number 1's win. And then right behind him, SSR Bobbers will finish second. Third will be Mute. Fourth will be the defending champion, Jim Hydra, as he was able to keep the car the rest of the way, and 100% tire wear across the line for Hydra. Delete back there in that fifth spot, still battling. Jansen to the inside, side by side off the corner. They make a big jump, big bump, and Delete able to hold on to that fifth spot. Sixth will be Jansen. Seventh will be SSR Markey. Eighth looks like it's going to be Pikachu. Ninth will be Yankee. It looks like he ran out of tires at the end of this one. LP Amoeba will be 10th. 11th will be Red One as he comes around the final corner. 12th will be FLA The Stig. 13th, it's still to be determined, as the boys played it safe in the back. B-Shadow will be 13th. 14th will be Mex Tabo. 15th will be SSR Yami. 16th will be FLA Jams. 17th coming around the rest of the field here will be Diamond Man, and he decided to make a late pit stop. Was not able to get that the Lamborghini to the end of this one. And that's going to wrap it up. We got post-race interviews coming up next. And, wow, it is going to be wild. All right, and that's a wrap as RBM Vinny wins here at the very end of the race, able to hold on. And just stay tuned. We got post-race interviews coming up next. I know Vinny won't be able to speak, so we'll just give a recap on him, and we'll try to get Mute, Bobbers, Hydra in here, and then obviously Delete as well, as what a race it was for them, trying to withstand the tires of the car the entire race. And boy, was it a lot of fun to watch. So just stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get the final race results in, and then we're going to get Bobbers, Delete, Hydra, and try to see if we get Mute in here as well to talk about the race afterwards. So just stay tuned for a few more minutes, and we will get in talks with the drivers momentarily. All right. And we're just waiting for a couple of the other drivers to get in here. There's Hydra. We're still waiting on Bobbers, Mute, believe Mute's not going to come in for the interview. That's probably okay. All right, so Mute's not going to jump in. That's okay. And we got Bobberts in here, so we're gonna begin in a moment. And you guys that just joined the party, please put your audio on. I'm gonna finish putting this out real quick, and then we'll get started. All right, so race winner RBM Vinny takes week 1 here at Silverstone, and we're going to start with the man in 5th and get his thoughts on the race. Delete, just make sure your audio's on so everyone can hear you. But welcome back to the MEA GT Championship Series. We haven't seen you since last season, and you made your sound heard today as you were battling all race long. It started with Yem early on in the race. You guys got a little bit connected there, and then obviously the whole thing just kind of ended bad for both of you. But you were able to battle your way back up there. You got up there with Jansen again, who was struggling to get around the stick. You were able to get around both of them to finish in the top 5. What was going through your mind there when you connected with the M there and you fell back a little bit? You know, did you get a little bit frustrated in that moment? What got you through it? And, you know, how tough was it for you to get around Jansen? Because it seemed like it took you a long time, and I know Jansen was working really hard to get around the stick. And I know we had a couple of lag outs early in this one. For the most part, it seemed like everyone was able to stay in there. But, you know, you never seem to have to worry about that at the lead. Did you think at the end there, those guys in the front, and I know you were pretty good on your tire wear at the end. Did you have a feeling that maybe some of the guys up front, like Hydra, you know, Mute and Vinny, were possibly going to lose it there at the end to give you a chance to get a little bit further up? Because we knew that the Nismos were going to be strong, but did you have any idea that they would be able to make it the way they did? Well, congratulations on a top 5 finish, and we're looking forward to see you back next week. And moving up the ladder, last year's champion, defending champion this season, Jim Hydra. And Hydra, you were so close to get the tires to make it to all the way to the end. Obviously, with 1 lap to go, that's when they gave way. You had, out of all the Jags that were in the top 10, it seemed like you had the worst tire wear at the end. How tough was it? How tough was it for you to hold on to it at the end?
Impossible, because I had no TCS and Bobberts didn't let me back out like last year. We were allowed to change our assists last year, like have a restart if someone had the wrong assist. But this year he didn't let me, so I had no TCS all race, so it was impossible for me to beat Vinny. And when you have TCS on, you don't need to use the front tires as much, because you can just use TCS to turn the car more. That's the way you drive the Jag, so I couldn't drive it the way I would, so I was losing by half a second a lap. It's the only reason I didn't win.
Well, obviously things, you know, didn't obviously go the way that was planned, and I know that sometimes that happens, but you're able to come back, finish strong in the top 5. You didn't end up losing too much at the end. Obviously, it's unfortunate that was right there at the last lap. Did you have any idea that maybe you guys would all pit at any point of the race? I know that you guys up front were pretty strong, but as the race progressed, it seemed like everybody's wear was super close. I don't think another lap would have lasted for anybody else, but did you think that maybe some of the guys up front were going to pit?
No. I was thinking about pitting just for TCS, because if I put on TCS, I probably would have gained back all the time that I lost anyway. I mean, the pits aren't too long here, so I would have gained every bit of it back if I put on TCS, because half a second a lap is a lot.
Well, obviously we go into next week at Suzuka, and we go back to seeing the mandatory stop rule. What goes through your mind? Obviously coming back, defending your title, but having each race rotate around. Do 1 week you're going to have to be more strategic than the other. How much of a challenge is that going to be with the field that you're competing in this year?
To win.
Well, obviously that's the main goal.
Sorry.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
Well, I don't think it'll be that hard if I remember to put on TCS next time.
Well, Hydro, congratulations keeping it into the top 5 for you. I know it was a heartbreaker there at the end to lose a couple of positions, but we're sure to see you come back stronger and better next week, and congratulations today.
Thank you.
And next in line would be Not Mute. Mute had a great race today, battled with SSR Bobberts throughout the entire event. Bobberts able to nip him there at the end because of the tire tread, but congratulations to Mute on a strong top 3 finish today. We're looking forward to seeing him back next week. And then Bobberts, you were able to get a couple positions there at the end, and did you think you were able to snip him there at the end? Did you know that they were going to run out right then and there, or was it kind of a surprise when you were able to make your move?
No, I knew they would. I was surprised Vinny didn't, so that just shows that not only did he have really good pace, but he was able to keep the tyres, in better shape. So well done to him on that, and obviously getting the victory. I was suffering a little bit. I had engine damage right from the start. I had a little hit from behind, so I had a 1% engine damage from right the word go. And then I downshifted too quickly at one point, so I was running with 2% engine damage pretty much from lap 2 onwards. But the fact that I was able to run really good times, to stick with Mute and not lose too much to the guys in front, I was happy with the pace. Like I could see that Mute started to struggle 3 laps before the end, and I knew that I would get him at some point. It was a case of just when rather than if. And then obviously when I saw Hydra do what I did season 1 and go off at Maggots and Beckett's, I knew that I had second place. And, I'm not going to say disappointed in getting the win, because Vinny did a fantastic job. So second place is, very respectable. It's a good start to the season.
And obviously, Bobberts, this has been a series that you've definitely wanted to win over the years. And obviously, you've come up short a little bit in the past, but starting off strong, I should say, in week 1. How much motivation do you have going into next week? And obviously, this year with the amount of changes and the intervening of season 1 and season 2 together, it's made it so much more competitive from a competitor aspect. But how more motivated have you been prior to this season compared to the last couple of seasons?
Well, considering both season 1 and season 2, I've been the bridesmaid and never been the bride. Is one way to put it. So obviously, I don't want to end up. Obviously, I'll take a 2nd or 3rd overall, obviously, because it's a really strong result. But obviously, you just want to go that 1 or 2 steps better. So that's my aim. Obviously, I would like to win the championship, but I know it's going to be hard. With the likes of Hydra, obviously the defending champ. Obviously, we've got Vinny in this season. Mute has shown he's got really good pace. Obviously, there's a lot of other guys out there. Obviously, depending on what cars they use, if they get the car choice correctly, especially on the non-mandatory pit stop races, that can win or lose you the season, the title even. So it's going to be interesting, for the remaining 9 races, and I hope that I can stay up there. That's the aim.
Well, congratulations on a solid result, and we're looking forward to seeing how you unfold as the season progresses, so congratulations.
Cheers, Steve.
And the man of the hour, RBM Vinny. I know he's not in here, not English speaking, so we can't really pull him in to talk to him, but fantastic job by Vinny since the start of the race. Was able to get around Hydra early, never looked back, ran a consistent race, kept his tires till the end, and was able to get the victory. Solid win by RBM Vinny, and obviously he is currently going to be the points leader going into week number 2, so we look forward to seeing what Vinny can do throughout the season. So congratulations to RBM Vinny, and congratulations and thank you to all the drivers, the people watching today. We are back in the GT series, and I know that so many other drivers have been super excited to get back into this. It's been highly requested. We know that we waited about mid-year to do it, but we're glad to have it back and glad to see some new drivers join with us. I'm SSR Mayhem. Thank you for watching week number 1 here at Silverstone. We go to Suzuka next week, so we're going to see what happens, and the mandatory pit stop rule will be in effect, so a little less strategy and a little bit more skill will more so take an effect to next week's race. So congratulations to RBM Vinny once again, and thank you for watching. Till next week, I'm SSR Mayhem. Have a wonderful night.